Hi guys, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Jennifer. Please do join us if you like the content that I share in this channel by clicking that red subscribe button on the bottom, and also don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up, as it does help for YouTube to push my videos for more people to see, and also I will appreciate it. So today we're going to be looking at savings and how savings can be freeing in your life, and especially when it comes to getting closer to reaching financial freedom. So if you want to know more, please stick around. Hi fam, so as I said, today we're going to be looking at savings and how it can be freeing in your life, especially in your financial life, and kind of get you closer to reaching financial freedom. Now we're going to go through 5 points that I've written down here on my book. These are points that we're going to be touching on as we talk about savings, and we're not going to be looking at why it's important to save, guys. I think we kind of understand why it's important to save. However, today I want to kind of give you another angle when it comes to saving, to say savings and investing can be freeing in your life, and we're going to look at how it can be freeing in your life. Okay, the first point is, if you have savings and investments, what happens is you do not stress over small emergencies that may come up. Yes, stress is normal, to be concerned is normal. Well, if we are being honest, none of us like to take money out of our pockets and pay for things, especially if they come up, unexpectedly. However, if you have savings and investment, you have a nest egg, you are less stressed than someone who has no savings at all, because you know that, okay, even though this thing has came up, you don't have to now go asking for money from people or go rushing into debt. You can easily go into your emergency fund, take that money that you need in order to actually do whatever that you want to do, deal with that emergency that has came up. That is the nice thing about saving. Second point is, the more that you have savings and investments, you are less likely to rush to the bank, or you are less likely to fall into debt. Now, how does this happen? As now as we're talking about you not stressing about small emergencies, you are not stressing about small emergencies because you have an emergency fund. You have a nest egg that is there to secure you if anything were to happen, especially things that are outside of being covered by insurance. You can easily go into your savings, take that money and service that thing, and so you are less likely to go into debt because of that. You don't need to tap into your credit card in order for you to actually deal with that emergency or to deal with whatever financial obligation that may come up, because you have savings, you have an emergency fund, you have investments. So that is how it can also be freeing. Debt is like living in shackles. It's like living in shackles, it's like being in prison. Basically, you may want to do certain things, but then now it's like you are tied, you are obligated to this thing, and so you are more free. When every time things come up in your life that need money, you don't have to rush towards debt, because you are breaking yourself from stress of actually being tied in a commitment such as a debt, where now you have to pay interest back in order to service that debt. So that is one thing there's another thing that I love about having savings and investments, is that it gives you so much freedom, such that you are not left at liberty of banks. I have this saying of in the office, which is also my daughter's bedroom, on the wall, that says that a borrower will always be a slave to a lender. And I put it there because I wanted it to be a reminder every time when I'm sitting there, that a borrower will always be a slave to the lender, because the more that I'm in debt, the more that I'm enslaved to this person that I'm owing, because I live my life, I structure my life around this person. Everything that I do when it comes to my finances, I structure it around these institutions that I'm owing. I cannot afford to just say, you know what, this job is giving me too much stress, I cannot stand this, I need a break. I can't do that, because I have debt. I have debts that I have to service, So I always keep that there on my wall so that I remind myself. A colleague of mine was telling me about this lady who was in hospital. She was also in hospital to take her kid there. And then there was this lady who also was taking her child to hospital, and there was something that had happened to her child, and the child needed to be admitted. And so when she was busy talking to the people there, they crunched in the numbers. She had a medical aid, she gave them the medical aid card. They crunched in, they looked at everything, and then they came back to her and say, we can only admit your child if you pay 10,000 right now in advance. We cannot admit your child without the 10,000 payment. Now, as a mother, I felt that. When I heard that story, I felt it, because the first thing that went into mind is, if I didn't have that 10,000, what would I do? Where would I go? Where would I take my child? Yes, I have a medical aid. I contribute towards it every month, but medical aid always have shortfalls. They always have things that they cannot cover. Like, there was a time when I went to a hospital. Yes, they were able to admit me, even though my medical aid paid little to nothing. Like, my medical aid paid like 200 and something. I couldn't believe it. However, that hospital, at least it took me in and assisted me. But when the bill came after, when I was done, I had to pay about 1,000 something, 500 and something, 200 and something. Now, because I have money, it was easy for me to tap into my emergency fund and actually pay for those things without feeling the pinch and without feeling like I'm drowning. And so that is what I mean. So I don't know what that lady did, or if she had an emergency fund, if she had money, if her partner had money in order to do that, or they had to tap into a credit card. I hope that they didn't have to tap into debt in order to do that. But sometimes, if such things happen, you are forced to tap into debt, in order to save your child's life, or is to save your own life. But it just goes to say, when you have savings and investments, it can really be freeing in your life, because if such things were to come up, you know that you are covered. You know that you are covered and you are protected. Yes, it's not a guarantee that it might be enough, but at least you have a certain portion, such that if you were to go, let's say, and borrow money or tap into your credit card, you wouldn't have to max out your credit card. You wouldn't have to borrow a large sum of money that when you now have to start paying for it, you feel it. You wouldn't have to go through that, because at least you had something, unlike if you had nothing at all. The third point, when it comes to how savings can be freeing, is that you start living within your means. Here's the thing. You cannot live within your means if you can't save. Let's just be frank. If every month when money comes in, you can't save a dime, you're not living within your means. Because if you can save every month from your salary, that means that you are living within and below your means. You are not spending more than what you earn. You are not maximizing your spending to service expenses, because you are able to save. So being able to save is an indication that you are actually living within your means. So if, let's say, for instance, right now you can't save at all, you literally can't save a dime, you need to know that you are not living within your means. You are living above your means, or you are living above your means. And so if the more that you save, the reason why I'm saying it becomes freeing, and you get to a stage whereby you're living within your means. You're living within your means because you are able to save every month. You are able to actually save towards your nest egg. You are able to invest towards your life. That is actually you being able to live within your means. I love that, and I wish that most people can get to that stage whereby you understand that it's important to live within your means, because when you live within your means, then you are able to save. You are able to invest. You are able to protect yourself from falling in the shackles of debt. The other point that is also very crucial is that when you are able to save, and how it is freeing in your life is that you get to a point whereby you are not living paycheck to paycheck. Now, there's a video that I did actually analyzing my lifestyle and my finances to see if I'm living paycheck to paycheck, and I will really suggest that you actually do that yourself as well. So when you have savings and investments, you actually break that the chain that says that you are living paycheck to paycheck, because you have built up savings. Even if you haven't reached your goal, but you have built up something that if something were to happen in terms of you losing your job, you'll be okay. For the next 3, 6 or 10 or 12 months, you'll be okay. You'll survive just fine, and you won't feel as if you've had to downgrade, because everything will still look normal. Yes, you would have cut down on a lot of your expenses. However, you will be okay. That's what freedom is, where you know that if anything were to happen, I would be okay. Let's say, for instance, you are not okay, you are not happy at work. You feel like you are carrying a lot, and your work environment is toxic and you don't enjoy it. When you have a nest egg, when you have investments, you have savings, you can easily step away from there. You can easily quit that job for your own sanity, for your own peace. You can quit it knowing that you will be okay financially. You and your children will be okay financially. But if you don't have savings, you don't have investments, you are forced to stay in a toxic environment, to stay in a toxic job, because you cannot afford to lose that job. Because if you were to lose that job, it means that you and your kids, or you yourself, will not survive. You will not survive. And so you find yourself having to stick in such jobs. So that is what I mean when I say having savings. Saving can be freeing in your life. And if you want to get to that stage, you need to start saving. You need to start saving now. Start small. You don't have to start saving a lot of money. I remember there was a time where I was only able to save around 1,500, and then it went up gradually. As I was attacking my debts more and more, I freed up money that I could save. So I would say start small. Start small. If it means you have to save 500 rands per month, start with that 500 rands. Save that 500 rands, because one day that accumulation of that 500 rands is going to help you in your life, somewhere in your life, and it's going to give you so much peace. And the last point that I just want to add there is that how savings can be freeing is that you now start to see the value of your money. It's very easy when you are living paycheck to paycheck and you are living above your means to not see the value of your money, because when your money comes in, it is chowed away. Like, you know that video where there was that child crying as the Amahans, I don't know what is it in English, Hans, I think it's that. They were eating her food from her plate while she was trying to eat, and they were just taking their pieces and pieces until there was nothing left. That's how many people feel whenever their salaries come in. And so they don't see the value of their money, because every time when the money comes in, they don't play. They are there. They are taking. This one is taking their portion. 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 And then they leave that. Whatever that is left, you now have to find a way to live with this. You won't see the true value of your money when that is the lifestyle you've created for your life. And so you want to get to a point whereby you limit those pickpocketers. Well, they're not pickpocketers because you agreed to it, but you want to get to your life to a stage whereby you don't have as many people digging from your salary. You don't have as many people digging from your salary, that even if there are people digging in your salary, they're not as much, and you don't feel them as much. You don't even think about it because they are that insignificant when it comes to how much you earn and how much has to go out towards debt. And so you now start enjoying your money. You start seeing the value of your money. You start seeing the true value of your money. And so even if you earn as little, you know, when I look at my salary, I don't earn a lot of money. But when I look at my salary now, it's not so much so about how much I get paid, but it's about how much I get to keep. That makes me feel like a boss. It makes me feel like I'm in charge of my life. Finally, I'm in charge of my finances. I'm in charge of what happens in my bank account. Finally. How long have I wished for that? How long have I wished for that? It's been a long time coming. However, I've gotten here. Whereby when I look at my salary, at my income, I'm just like, thank you, God. Thank you that I get to see the true value of my money. I get to save. I get to deal with my living expenses, not with the pressure of saying, oh my God, I'm going to run out of money, because I have more than enough. And so with that being said, thank you so much for actually watching this video, taking the time to just sit with me and listen to me, I really appreciate that. And so I hope that you found value in this video and that it will be useful in your journey, and that you will join me in this journey of seeking financial freedom, financial peace, because who wouldn't want that? Who wouldn't want that in their life? And so I will see you in the next video. Please take care and stay safe. Bye.